In lesson 2 we'll be showing you how to create the subtasks within the substructure main task. Okay, but before we do that we need to link the 3 main tasks that we've created, because superstructure cannot start until after substructure has begun. So what we're going to do is to link them, and you do that by hovering over the middle of the bar and then drag down, hold your left click on your mouse, hold it down, and as you do so this box will appear. Now the most common link that to apply is the finish to start link. So that means that when this part of the project is finished, this one can commence. We will be using the finish to finish one later on to give you an alternative to that. We'll have no lag and lead after them. So I'll click OK. And then the next one is we will move on from completing the superstructure to doing the internal fitting out, and this time we could perhaps put a couple of days lead in it so that we can inspect it and make sure everything's all right before we move on to the next step. Okay, so as you can see, you'll then find that those 2 days there appear. Now if you want to modify a link, you can double click it and change it back if you don't want to do that. Okay, right, so having set up your initial linkage between the two, you can then insert your subtasks. So I'm going to insert the next task, which is foundations. Now at the moment that's in the wrong place, so the way that you move them is, can you see where that turns into a double line there? If you drag, let go, when that little hand appears, say yes, and that puts them into the order that you want them to be in, like so. Now that needs to be indented, it needs to be a subtask of substructure, so I'm going to indent it, and notice how the substructure one becomes a faint little arrow there and the foundation one appears below it. And then we need to add in our next task, which is going to be footings. And then our next task, which is oversight and slabbing. Notice how I'm not changing the duration at this stage. We'll be leaving that for a minute or two. And then our final task in the substructure is drains. Okay, now at the moment they've all got a 5-day allocation, so I'm going to scratch my head and think, right, yeah, that's foundations, yeah, we'll leave that at 5 days, and then we'll have 3 days to do the footings. The slab will probably take us a couple of days to do, and the drains, yeah, we better allow 4 days to do that. There's quite a lot of drainage to do. Now notice how at the moment they're creating an overlap between them, so what we now need to do is to link them so that the footings starts after the foundations. Notice how the substructure is now being extended as I do this automatically. So that's created an initial 14-day allowance for the substructure, and that's how easy it is to create your own initial sort of view of how long things will take to do.